guys, welcome back to my channel. We are back watching another episode of The Last Kingdom. This is what episode is this? This is episode 6. A lot happened last episode, so let's just go over that before I get into my predictions. I want to believe Uhtred is smart, I really do, but last episode kind of proved to me that maybe he's not the smartest person on the show. He doesn't realize that history is written, and I keep saying this, but it's true. History is written by the victors. History is written by whoever gets the story out first. And whatever story people hear first is the one that they're most likely going to believe. When Uhtred single-handedly basically saved Wessex, Uhtred made the mistake of going to his wife and kid before he went straight to Alfred. And the benefit of going straight to Alfred would be that he could claim credit for everything that was done and, gain some respect from Alfred. But he decided to go see, I don't blame him, he went to go see his wife and kid, but he doesn't realize what the other characters on this show are doing to discredit him. So, because Oda the Elder is dying or is dead, I'm not sure if they, confirm that, but I'm gonna assume that he's gonna die because he was a pretty decent person, and I feel like this show is just gonna kill off everybody who I grow to love. So yeah, he's on his deathbed, so Oda the Younger goes to Wessex and claims credit for everything that Uhtred did, and gets rewarded for it. I think he gets money and land. He's, very powerful now. Last episode just proved to me that Oda the Younger, while I don't root for him, he's very entertaining to watch. He's very entertaining to watch because he's smart, and I enjoy watching smart characters. So Uhtred is kind of not in that boat in terms of thinking ahead and thinking long term, but who knows? I could be completely wrong, and Uhtred could be doing all of this for the long term. I can't imagine that he would let Oda the Younger, who is very overtly, doesn't like Uhtred, I can't imagine that Uhtred would just let that happen. So I think it was a mistake. I think it genuinely was a mistake on Uhtred's part. I imagine these next couple of episodes that Uhtred is just going to do thing after thing to try to gain the respect and show his loyalty to Alfred. I imagine that's what's going to happen. I don't know how he's going to accomplish that, but the one thing that I do want to see for future episodes is the relationship between Uhtred and Aethelwald. I want to see them become closer because they have a lot in common. Every scene that he's in, I really enjoy, and I would like to see a little bit more of him because I think that he's going to become a super important character. Because he's kind of, when he was introduced, when Aethelwald was introduced, we were led on to believe that he was just this, drunk child character. But I think there's more to him that meets the eye, and everybody's severely underestimating him, so I'm going to keep him in my favorite characters list and keep an eye out for him, because I think that him and Uhtred are going to team up in the future somehow, some way. I guess my prediction for this episode is that I just want to see more of Alfred and Uhtred, and more of Uhtred and Aethelwald, for that matter. I just want Alfred to trust Uhtred, but Uhtred, I wouldn't have gained the trust of Uhtred at this point, considering everything that he's done. So he's going to need to climb the ranks a little bit more in order to gain some respect from Alfred. But I guess those are all of my thoughts. I really want to get right into this episode, so without further ado, let's get right into it. Uhtred, man. Uhtred's mentality. Uhtred is just too full of himself to be able to admit to when he fucks up. He's just so self-righteous that sometimes it just gets him into very difficult and sticky situations. Now, this episode specifically, he made the same mistake that he made last episode. When he went to go attack the Britons or whatever, he meets another group of Danes, and that interaction was actually pretty cool. The introduction of that one Dane, what was his name? I think his name was Scopa. He basically meets Scopa and agrees to attack his own men, the Christian men that he teamed up with to go raid this place, in return for silver. It happens, Uhtred obeys and ends up getting fucked over, of course. He ends up not getting the silver. Scopa ends up getting away and runs off. But the Shadow Queen says that there's more treasure, so he ends up winning in at the end. He ends up getting the treasure, getting her. But more importantly, from the moment that he got the treasure, he decides to go back home to see his wife and kid before he stops at Wessex, where Alfred is. Now that's the second time that he's made the same mistake of not going directly to Alfred after a huge thing happens like this, because the story is going to get jumbled up and he's going to end up being portrayed as the villain of the situation. And that's exactly what happened, because Asser, the guy who observed everything that was happening and ran off, I knew that he was going to be the first one to get to Alfred, because that's just Uhtred making mistakes left and right, and he made the same mistake last episode. There's a little bit of a learning curve with Uhtred. He keeps making the same mistake over and over again. So hopefully with the second time that he made this mistake, he will learn from his lesson, because now he's in a very difficult situation where it's either him or Lefrich dying. And I don't want Lefrich to die. I think that's how you pronounce his name. I kept on saying Lefric, but I think it's pronounced Lefrich. A part of me knows that Uhtred is probably going to survive and Lefrich is probably going to die, but I really, really don't want Lefrich to die. I really don't. But Lefrich was confident. He was like, let me give you a chance to get to Valhalla, which is that's really respectable that he would have that in mind when choosing what to say to Alfred in terms of how Uhtred is going to die. That was really respectable that Lefrich was looking out for him and wanted him to go to Valhalla, but I don't want either of them to die. That's the thing. And as much as I hate young Oda, he's just so entertaining to watch. He's such a good, I don't want to say villain, but he kind of is. He's kind of like a little rat. So I don't know what the next episode has in store. I don't know if Uhtred or Lefrich is going to die. Hopefully something happens to stop this battle to the death from happening, because it looked like they do like close-ups of Alfred while this whole conversation is happening in the when they're giving him the verdict, basically, Uhtred. They do zoom-ins on Alfred's face that make me wonder what he's thinking. Just like his facial expressions say a lot, and they're kind of confusing in the fact that I really don't know where his head's at. I don't know if he genuinely wants this battle to happen or if he's going to stop it from happening. He's the only one that really has the power to do so. So, I don't know. Alfred's really smart, so he knows what's best at the end of the day, and I think that in the back of his mind there's 1% of him that knows that Uhtred is truly loyal to him and knows that Uhtred is the one that deserves the credit for all this stuff, all this good stuff that's been happening to Wessex. And it's not young Oda, it's fucking Uhtred. So it's frustrating. It's really frustrating. We also see when Uhtred goes back to his wife and his son, instead of going to Alfred first, we see his wife is clearly pissed off that he brought this Shadow Queen with him, which I also think that she's going to be really important in the future. But in regards to his wife, in regards to Mildred, she would be the perfect wife for him if they just didn't have such conflicting fundamental values. I kind of knew that the marriage was going to go to shit, and obviously a lot of time has passed in between these going from point A to point B, because the show moves at a fast pace, but they want you to assume that a lot of time has passed in between them just traveling. It makes sense that she would be very frustrated with Uhtred and he would feel the same way. It's just, I just knew that it wasn't going to work out because their values just don't align. So it sucks because she's a really good person and it seems like she's a really good person, but now she's going to go to young Oda, which makes this 10 times more complex. So I don't know what young Oda's plans are in the long run, but I definitely want to see where his head's at and see more of him scheming and planning. I think that he's a super interesting character. And Mildred, for that matter, too. If she goes over to him, I don't know how Uhtred's going to handle that. Predictions for next episode. Obviously, we're going to see some type of fight between Uhtred and Lefrich. And if we don't, then that's great because both of them survive. But I have a really bad feeling that Lefrich is possibly gonna die. Just because he's super confident, he thinks that he's gonna beat Uhtred swiftly. He's like, I'm gonna send you to Valhalla. So I don't know. Just that confidence makes me very nervous for his future. As always, thank you guys for watching. Check out my other reactions if you have not already, and stay tuned for episode 7. Alright, bye guys.